Okay, it's that time of year when I get excited to plant my spring bulbs. And I want to share with you just some tips and tricks when it comes to how to choose your bulbs for spring planting. Henri? Down! No! No! Okay, now that that's out of the way. All right, first tip, when to plant your spring bulbs. Here in Maine, I don't know if it's true where you are, but fall is kind of wonky. We can have cold days and then we can have like warm spells. So you don't want to plant your bulbs too early in the fall because you want them to stay dormant. You don't want them to wake up until spring. You want them to take a long winter's nap. If you plant them too early and we have a warm spell, they may be thinking like, oh, it's time to wake up, and that's not what we want. So I usually wait till, in Maine, late October, early November. The secret is planting them before the ground freezes because then it's virtually impossible. So that's kind of my window. A couple of things I look for. I've got some notes here so I don't forget. Oh yeah, another tip. If you do wait till kind of a later in the season, you're likely to find them on sale. You may not have the best selection, but you might save yourself a few bucks. The other thing to consider is timing of spring blooms. The best thing about planting bulbs for spring blooming is after a long, long winter, it's just so wonderful to see life and to see bulbs coming up. And the longer you can experience that, the better. So I like to plant varieties of bulbs that bloom at different times. Take, for example, move this, these tulips, okay? If you look on the package, this one is bloom time early spring, this one mid-spring, and this one late spring. Brilliant. So do that. I plant my tulips actually in my raised beds. After I pull all the veggies out and I clean the beds out, I put tulips in for the spring. And I also plant them in clusters. So these will all be together, these will all be together, and these will be together. And so that way they just look beautiful. It's a beautiful palette. And you have blooms from, oh, I don't want to say when they started blooming because I'll get it wrong, but you know what I'm talking about. You have blooms longer throughout the spring season. The other thing, if you have a problem with deer, look for bulbs and flowers that are deer resistant. And it should say so right on the package. These daffodils, for example, it says right there, deer resistant, okay? So that's a tip. If the deer eat your tulips and you're like, well, what's the point of planting tulips? Because the deer will eat them anyway, then consider planting something that is deer resistant. Try that again. The other thing to think about is, do you want to plant bulbs that will come back year after year or just one season and done? When I plant my raised beds, as I mentioned, I plant all tulips and I fill those beds with tulips. In fact, at the end of the video, I'll show you how beautiful it looks. I'm gonna pull all of those bulbs out because then I'm gonna plant all my veggies in the raised beds. So I want those tulips out of there. So those are one and done. But then in other parts of my garden, I have daffodils that I planted, the bulbs I planted, and they've naturalized and they come back every year, and they are spreading beautifully. So here in this, these daffodils, if you look under here, there's some instructions. Turn it this way. Planting tips and tricks. These bulbs are great naturalizers and will flower year after year. So if you're looking for that, look for that on the package. If you're not sure, just Google it. Another bulb I love, and I don't have one here, is allium, A-L-L-I-U-M, and it's this long stalk with this, you've seen them. It's beautiful, almost like a disco ball plant. It's just like gorgeous round balls that come up through my gardens, and those have come back year after year, and they're one of my favorites, and they last for a really long time, which is nice. The other thing when you're shopping for bulbs, and here's the thing, you can get bulbs online, you can get bulbs from local nurseries, you can get bulbs from big box stores. I'm not going to tell you or judge wherever you buy your bulbs, buy them wherever it's most convenient for you and where you're going to get the best quality. Speaking of that, I always look at the bulbs. So if you pick up a bag, you want to be sure that they're firm, you kind of feel them, and that you don't see any rot or any rotten bulbs, because you're just going to have to throw those away. You don't want to plant those. So those are my tips for selecting and planting your bulbs, and I hope that you will do it. It's totally worth the effort, and you're going to be so happy when the beautiful flowers come up for you after a long winter. Thanks for hanging out. It's Deb and Henry. He's napping now. Bye, boy. Talk to you later. Bye.